Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for set number 2 between Mine versus Jaehoon. Jaehoon taking game 1. Very surprisingly, Mine opting for a 2-factory build. I would have expected him to play more safe because I think he thinks he's a better player, but he opts for a cheese build instead. Anyways, we're going to be on circuit breakers here between Jaehoon and Mine. Mine spawning as the yellow Terran up at the 5 o'clock position, which means over at the 11 o'clock position in blue is going to be Jaehoon. We're going to see how this game plays out instead. So very, very curious to see how Mine is going to play out this game. Maybe he'll play a little more safer. Maybe he'll play a little more greedier. Maybe go for like a 14cc build, 1-Rax FE. But in the meantime, Jaehoon will probably see. Maybe he's going to play safe again this game, offer a Power Goon build, and delay is natural. A very smart pull by Jaehoon with those probes, really delay some of the tank shots going off on his Dragoons, and then correctly using his Dragoons to micro into the mines and really punishing Mine for his choice of build. It was very smart actually to go for a Power Goon, because I think if he went for 1 gate FE, he would have just straight up lost, because that's what a 2-fact tries to punish. And that is what Protoss have been going for early on. Does have a gateway coming out. We're going to see if he goes for that early gas, or he's going to keep delaying it. Meanwhile, Mine is moving out in SCV. He's going to put the barracks down at the very front. So this could be a 1-Rax FE build, considering the placement of the barracks. And not sure if he's taking gas yet. Can't see on the minimap. But the barracks is at the front, so I want to say this is a Rax FE build. Because, yeah, this is what the commentators are pointing out. Usually when you put those buildings up the front like that. And in the meantime, the gateway has gone down with the core following immediately right after. So Jay is going to be playing standard. Meanwhile, Mine is going to go scout with his SCV. Going to go see where Jaehoon is and try to see what he's doing. Second pylon now going down for Jaehoon. And in the meantime, I don't think Mine has opted for that gas, so it's going to be a 1-Rax FE build, and Jaehoon might not be able to punish it properly, and the supply depot also going down from Mine, so that no Zealot pressure can destroy him early on. Here comes the command center, there it is. Meanwhile, Jaehoon once again opting for a no probe scout. And Mine going out to the middle of the map to see if Jaehoon is doing a proxy 2-gate. But nope. A lot of players have been doing this lately, going for a regular scout and then going cross map immediately afterwards to see if the enemy is at the close proximity spawns. Meanwhile, Jaehoon also going for another 2-gate build. Once again, playing very, very safe. I think maybe expects Mine to do another. Companies are playing that out. 3 Marines now out at the front. Once again, going to deny any probe scout. He's probably going to build a bunker out the front. Yep, there it is. Meanwhile, the gas has gone down now for Mine. Probably going to get those factories out. Try to get siege mode with tanks ASAP. We have 4 Marines out. He's going to stop Marine production right there because, as you know, 4 Marines can only fit into a bunker. If only that were 5, that would be kind of OP. I actually don't know this. Can medics go into bunkers? If anyone can answer that for me, that'd be pretty funny if they could. Or do they heal inside the bunker, even though it doesn't really matter? Meanwhile, Mine is going to see a 2-gate goon build once again from Jaehoon, so he's going to have to react accordingly. Probably means that he might play a lot more defensively and have to pull SCVs a lot faster. Because there's 2 gates producing goons instead of 1. I'm not sure how to deal with it. I guess you just throw up a second factory. Although throwing up a second factory is actually pretty standard. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, Marine's gonna just hop in the bunker now that they see a Dragoon out. Goon is already up, so he's gonna pressure that bunker up a little bit. Meanwhile, the Academy is going up for Mine. A little bit of a early Academy. I don't normally see this from Terran players this early. Usually get a little after tanks. Now 2 SCVs to repair the bunker, but 2 more goons. So maybe we'll see a break But usually that's when 6 goons are, so they can one-shot SCVs. But Mind is going to have to pull more SCVs. Once again, as usual, 1 SCV per Dragoon. But Mind is scouting for proxies. Yeah, he's really scared of Jaehoon counter-cheesing him at this point. But there are 2 more goons going to try to deny scouting, and they do. They deny the scout of the Nexus, so Mind is still in the dark for how he wants to play this out, and Jaehoon going to smartly double expand off of this, try to get back in this game economically. Meanwhile, the barracks is going to put itself into a more reasonable location for the SCVs to not be able to, for Dragoons not be able to run right up to a tank. Meanwhile, double factory, the second factory not producing anything right now, but it is getting upgrades. Meanwhile, the tank is going to come out. So a lot of goons outside might go for a break. The tank is out though, and he does have siege roll. We're gonna see if Jaehoon's gonna go for a break, and nope, he's gonna take 1 tank shot. Really a smart micro there, doing as much damage as possible before a tank. Okay, there's the repair. I know myself being one of the worst Terrans ever. And look at the Dragoons might go for a break. They're actually going to try to push through, but SCV blocking is very, very good for Mind. And they're not going to be able to get this tank all repair. Oh, snipes the tank, but does lose 2 goons for it. So I'm not sure if it was worth it or not. There is a second supply depot out blocking. And these supply depots are actually very, very weirdly placed right now for Jaehoon, or for Mind. Meanwhile, he did offer vultures instead of tanks, so this could be a little bit scary. But meanwhile, I think he has mines, so he's going to plant mines before getting out another tank. Meanwhile, I think Jaehoon has double expanded off these 2 bases. He's doing a lot of good pressure, and also notably has not followed up with more Dragoon pressure. Anyways, there's the tank and the 2 vultures, and now Jaehoon, realizing this, is going to back up. But yeah, scans going down has seen that Jaehoon has opted for a double expand with the observatory. So he's going to try to take some more map control and economic advantage. Meanwhile, the vultures are going to try to sneak past here. I think he has goons at home. Yep, they're smartly blocking off the ramps, but they're just going to go on this high ground, and Jaehoon's going to move his goons accordingly. Actually going to be able to pay off a few of these pros. Is actually a missed micro from Jaehoon. I think he should have left one of the Dragoons back home here. There is 1 mine going down, and he's going to try to abuse it. Oh! That's a huge, huge mine going on from both of the Dragoons of Jaehoon. That's actually a lot of pressure that he's not going to be able to deal with right now. Meanwhile, more vultures going to try to push in here, going to plant more mines. And here come the pros going to try to block the vulture from coming in. There is a mine. He's going to correctly move back the Dragoon. Meanwhile, finally takes it out, so he's going to wait for observers to deal with these mines. Meanwhile, Mind once again continuing to get those vultures out and try to produce more and more map control out of this. But Mind is going to play, or James is going to play very, very defensively at this point with the observer, killing off all of the mines so that they're not of a annoyance to Jaehoon. Meanwhile, more mines going down. This might kill the Dragoon if Jaehoon's not looking. Yeah, they do. But meanwhile, Jaehoon is just going to put 1 more Dragoon up at here at the ramp to block, and Mind has countered with an expansion of his own. We're going to see Jaehoon probably going to opt for that standard 3 base Arbiter build. Meanwhile, he's walled off his base middle only with a lot of pylons. He does have a shuttle out, so we're going to see a very standard shuttle play from pro wrestlers nowadays. They get a lot of shuttles to deal with the imminent tank push, maybe even try to break the Terran defense. He's got an armory up. He's got also 4 factory. We're not going to probably not see a 5 factory timing push because he's gotten that 3rd base. Usually 5 fact comes off of 2 base, but it can come off 3 base. It's a little more delayed in favor of some more economic presence. Meanwhile, some more mines going around the map, trying to just slow down Jaehoon. Meanwhile, the goons have cleared out at the 12 o'clock position, so he might opt for an expansion there. Once again, smartly, you know, Perez's don't want to expand towards Terran. Terran is typically the player to expand toward the Protoss, as noted. Meanwhile, Observer getting a glimpse of the inside of the base. I don't think an E-base actually been put up for Mind, so he's actually skipping on turrets right now in favor of some more econ. The turrets are quite important, but he does have 5 tanks now out, and is grabbing a 4th Expo, even before Jaehoon's grabbing his 4th. So this is noteworthy. He's actually expanding very, very aggressively. Meanwhile, Vulture's going up to 12 o'clock. Maybe we can try to deny that probe from making that base. Meanwhile, there are goons and an observer here, but Mine is going to pull back his Vultures. Meantime, there's a shuttle. I'm not sure what the shuttle's going to do. Just hovering back and forth. Maybe going to like kind of fake out Mind. And yeah, there's going to be a 3-base Arbiter build with expansion into a 4th base. But once again, Mind has actually out-expanded Jaehoon. He's actually going to be a base up a little earlier. But Jaehoon will equalize that base count once the Nexus goes up. This is very interesting. I really like Circuit Breakers because both players, Protoss and Terran, have a lot of different ways to expand. Meanwhile, Zergs do have the standard way of expanding of going to the other mains and naturals. Meanwhile, he's going to try to sneak in here with a few Vultures. He only sees 3 Dragoons here, so he's going to be able to utilize this area of weakness and playing a lot of mines here. He might get a few of these goons. This goon tries to mind drag into the Vultures, but then unable to, and these mines are doing quite a bit of damage to these goons, but he's losing a few Vultures, but getting a decent amount of probes. And he's not going to try to go into that 4th base and snipe a probe here or there. Meanwhile, he did get a few probes. So he's going to back out with those Vultures, and 4th base is now up and running, saturated very, very well. Those 4 factories are the most weird setup I've ever seen. Meanwhile, Science Facility is going up, so we're going to see a standard 2-1 timing, but here come the goons, going to try to clear out some of these Vultures. Meanwhile, they might actually go for an attack. No, they won't. They're way too far away. But in the meantime, Jaehoon is opting for some more gateways, getting that Arbiter out, and probably opting for stasis first. Meanwhile, with the goons that moved up to the top left, top right-hand position, Mine actually able to get into the 4th base of Jaehoon's with some Vultures, and they're actually pick up a lot of probes here. Jaehoon not correctly positioning his army is losing every single probe. He's probably lost at least 12 probes, and that's great harassment by Mind. Jaehoon not moving his army in the right position. He only should have used a few Dragoons to move up there, but instead he used his entire bulk of his army, and in consequence lost a lot of probes for that, and only for, like 5 Vultures. So Jaehoon economically is hurting a little bit, having to transfer a few more probes than he would like to. Meanwhile, the factory is now coming up for Mind again, adding on. Because he has, Carrier's actually going to be coming out this game. I was wrong, not going to be the standard Goon Zealot defense. So opting for Carriers. I haven't really seen Carriers on Circuit Breakers all that often. We're going to see if Mind has scanned it or not. He is getting up a 3rd machine shop for more tank protection and getting, as noted, a Goon... Goliath range, and meanwhile the goons are going to micro backwards trying to avoid these mines, but there is a good surround on these goons. These mines might be able to do a decent amount of damage, and they will take down a few of the Dragoons. Meanwhile, lag on Afrika, but yeah, these goons, the Vultures did take out a few of these goons, and once again, sacrificing mineral units for some gas units. And in the meantime, Jaehoon's going to expand up to the top right main expansion. It's going to 5 bases. We're probably going to see Mind take another expo. Well, clearing out mines to try to clear out the vision from Mind. And here come the Carriers. Ooh, good scan by Mind. Great scan. He's actually going to catch them. He's probably going to cancel all that Vulture production in favor of Goliath production now. And this 2-1 timing might be a little awkward for him because Carriers are coming out. And usually when you go for a 2-1 timing, you're only going to have like 2 or 3 Goliaths to deal with Arbiters and not Carriers. We're going to have to see how well he's going to adapt. But yeah, he is going to be going for mass Goliaths now, probably going to skimp on Vultures, or he might just try to kill Jaehoon with Vulture tank instead of going for Goliaths. We'll have to see. The tank count is slowly increasing. Meanwhile, tanks from Jaehoon still trying to get control of the map. And the way he's playing right now actually might be more of a defensive one, so he might just get 2-1 and defend with it and expand more heavily. But I doubt it. A 2-1 timing is a very, very critical time to attack. And there out come the Goliaths. And 2 vessels being made right now, so they're going to try to probably EMP that Arbiter. I think another command center is going. He's probably going to expand to that 3 o'clock position. And yet, unsiege of the tanks. And here comes that 2-1 timing. We're going to see how well Jaehoon's going to be able to deal with it. He is expanding very aggressively, getting another expansion. He's going to be going up to 6 bases right now. Meanwhile, Mine's going to try to push out with these units before carriers are going to get up into a critical mass. We'll see how well Jaehoon's able to deal with this. There's a shuttle there. He's trying to surround all these units, and the shuttle gets extended out by the Goliaths very quickly. Maybe getting a shuttle out with going with carriers was not the best idea, considering he knows that if he's going to opt for carriers, there's going to be more Goliaths on the field, and so shuttle is not as effective. So he did lose a few units there, but he has stalled the push effectively here. Finally, Mine's going to unsiege. A little slow in his push. Meanwhile, the army of Jaehoon is just kind of trying to mirror the army movement of Mind. And we're going to see how he's going to engage. He's pushing in right now when the tanks are unseized. This is very smart of Jaehoon. But again, a little bit of mismicro does lose a few of the Dragoons. Remember that since he has offered for carriers, he's not going to have the necessary gateway force to actually deal with that. I think he sniped a science vessel though. He's going to push out again, but now he's going to bring it back. This is very smart from Jaehoon. And this is what I feel a lot of processors don't do enough of, is that they're going to push in when the Terran is unseized and then back up when the Terran sieges and utilize that timing window of when the tanks are sieging. Because again, it takes a few moments from siege. Meanwhile, he's going to try to do as much damage, try to snipe as many Goliaths as possible. He's going to lose the Arbiter, but he has picked off a few of the Goliaths, and here come the carriers. There are 3 carriers. Ooh, actually 6 carriers now. This is a lot of carriers, and I don't think there's going to be enough Goliaths to deal with this. Maya has to really do a lot of damage before these carriers are able to create their interceptors, and there's only a few Goliaths, only 7 Goliaths out right now from Mind, and he's going to need to pick off a few of these bases to get this push dealt with, and he's actually going for that 4th base total position from Jaehoon. If you get 9 mining here, this push might be utilized correctly. Meanwhile, the carriers have pushed that, now going to try to take out the Goliaths, and the tanks are trying to do as much damage as possible. He's going to have to try to take out those top right bases of Jaehoon, but meanwhile Jaehoon in the middle map with some units trying to deny Goliath reinforcement, and he is not going to be able to take out that 4th base. All he does, he has stopped mining there. Meanwhile, he's going to try to catch this big army by Mine. This is great by Jaehoon. He's actually going to be able to take out this entire army of Mine, and that's a lot of tanks, a lot of gas that are not going to be going into production. And as you know, the tank count for Terrans is usually the most important. I think he put down a Nexus, but gets immediately taken out by tanks, but that's actually quite a big hit. He's not going to be able to utilize those 400 minerals anymore, and he's going to push out with some more Goliaths and tanks, but really note that there are not a lot of tanks right now, and so a Goliath Zealot army, if Jaehoon emphasizes more on gateway units rather than carriers, this might be very, very deadly, because Protoss now has the advantage. They have that map control because they're able to shut down a really big force of the Terran. But yeah, that's a decent amount of gateway units coupled with these Goliaths. We're going to have to see how well Mine is going to be able to deal with this. He's got a lot of Goliaths out, but again, look, he's only got 3 tanks out, and so Goon Zealot is going to be able to deal with these Goliaths very, very efficiently. Meanwhile, the carriers probably want to pick off some of the tanks and then send in the gateway army. He's going to try to grab that 5th base right now and then set up a staging point to deal with those top 2 bases of Jaehoon. Meanwhile, Jaehoon has re-expanded to that inside 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock position. He's got a lot of Goliaths. He's really been focusing on that Goliath production, skipping on the vultures for mines. That's kind of how you have to play, but in the meantime, Jaehoon's probably going to try to abuse that position and produce a lot more gateway units rather than carriers. Meanwhile, remaking those photon cannons at the 11 o'clock position, mineral only. And some vultures have been created by Mind. He's going to try to take some more map control with them. But that's a lot of carriers. I think he's going to reach critical carrier count soon. And a lot of turrets are out from Mind. So he's going to play very, very defensively while trying to remake that tank count. Again, he's going to push now. I think he's got 3-2 upgrades for those Goliath tanks. I really want to see if the commenters can click on one of them. But right now, here comes the big push from Mind. I'm not sure if Jaehoon's ready for this. There's a lot of Goliaths and a lot of tanks out, and now he's going to have to back up. He didn't lose too many units. He did lose a few vultures there trying to push in. He's going to try to take out a lot of these Goliaths, and then going to rush in a lot of Zealots, I feel like. Otherwise, he would be trying to focus more on the tanks, but the Goliaths are serving as a very good barrier between the carriers and tanks. Meanwhile, hold position micro on those Goliaths. and they're going to be able to do a decent amount of damage. And now he's going to go for the tanks. The tanks are a little bit out of position right now, and Mine knows this. He's actually lost a lot of tanks here. The Goliaths were out of position. Tanks actually moved up too fast, I feel like, into this position on the high ground. Meanwhile, he has lost a lot of gateway units, but he's able to take out a lot of these tanks, and these Goliaths won't be able to deal with these photon cannons or gateway army of Jaehoon. But an Arbiter now is going to cloak the carriers. The best unit composition in the world is Carrier, Arbiter. We're going to pick out some more tanks. There's only like 3 tanks left for this push, and if he continuously macros up a good amount of gateway units and is able to pick out some more of these Goliaths, you know, he's actually doing a really good job with this carrier macro. He hasn't lost a single carrier yet. And again, he's picking up these tanks. While they might be positioned very well against the gateway army, against carriers, not so much. He's got to take one. Great storm of these Goliaths. Great storm of these Goliaths. Jaehoon's actually been able to force his push back again. Meanwhile, Mine is taking that bottom left-hand expansion for his own, trying to deal some more damage, and Templars, and this is what really separates, you know, the good carrier micro from bad ones, is that since carriers are able to take down all of those tanks, you know, he's able to transition into more of a Templar attack, and meanwhile, there's not a whole lot of units from Mine. He's actually only stuck again with a few tanks and a few Goliaths. I feel like if the carriers were to go into the bottom location, meanwhile, he's going to try to pick up a lot of these turrets here. But yeah, Jaehoon's done a really great job with microing these carriers, and you know, as long as he keeps out that carrier count, he's actually picking up a lot of these turrets. If he takes out enough of them, Jaehoon might be in a great position here to take out this 5th base. Meanwhile, once again, you know, that Goliath count is very, very small, and he's just going to back up and go back to defending. There are a lot of turrets out here. I have to take a drink. I've said a lot this game, and Jaehoon's actually going to opt for the base at the 9 o'clock position. In the meantime, they're again both players trying to jockey for the middle of the map. It's got a lot of Goliaths out here, but you know, these carriers are just such a big amount. I'm not sure if those Goliaths are going to be able to deal with them. A decent storm of those vultures, which managed to pick off a high Templar, so trade vultures for storm. That's going to be really good for him. Meanwhile, there is a command center probably going to lift off to that 5 o'clock mineral only base, and he has to remake all of these turrets. There's a lot of minerals going into this, and we're going to see if Jaehoon's just going to crush this force once again. He's done a great job of containing Jaehoon to Mine to some extent in the middle of the map, and these carriers have done a great job. Meanwhile, Scan goes off, knows where the carrier positioning is, and is going to move up to those bridges. I'm not sure that's the greatest because tanks and Goliaths are not able to really share that space, and if he has to pick one or the other, carriers are able to micro very, very well. The guy's going to try to come in here and snipe the Arbiter. The Arbiter, ooh, good stasis, actually going to body block a lot of these Goliaths, and these Goliaths are going to be forfeited, and he's going to be able to bring some of these gateway units to clean this up. Meanwhile, Mine has remacroed up a decent amount of tanks. And his Arbiter is almost dead, but he is going to surround those Goliaths up there, and he's easily able to deal with them. Or actually, he's completely ignored them, I feel like. He's going to go harass this 3 o'clock position from Mine once again, and Mine is going to have to force to deal with it. He's going to have to secede the middle of the map again and move his big army over here. Once again, a great station on those Goliaths. Actually stasising Goliaths there so that more Goliaths are really hard to get in. And meanwhile, he's going to target fire the command center. He's going to get it. The SCVs repairing were not in time to deal with it. Now he's just going to back up again. So a lot of interceptors. Wow, this carrier cannon is very, very deadly right now. And he's got another Arbiter. He's got these club interceptors doing a decent amount. And we're going to see, I'm not sure if Mine is able to deal with this effectively. You know, he's lost a bunch of units, and these carriers have not died yet. He's not found an opportunity to kill off these carriers and limit their numbers. You know, he's going to have to remake that 3 o'clock position. I like to see Jaehoon just walk in here and re-snipe the base. Meanwhile, tanks are unseized right now. Here comes a big push here from Jaehoon. We're going to see how much damage he's going to do. He's got a Templar in there. I'm sure he's got like 2 storms on there. A good, decent storm, an okay storm on the Goliaths. They're unable to really get a lot done. Another good storm of those Goliaths. And meanwhile, the rest of these tanks are trying to siege a big storm, a big stasis field. Oh my goodness, there's 2 huge stasis fields on those units, and he's finally able to snipe 1 carrier. But 1 carrier, since these carriers have been doing a decent amount of damage during this entire time, once again, he's going to snipe this 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Jaehoon is not expanded. I would like to see him expand to that mineral only base at the 1 o'clock position. But meanwhile, Mine has expanded to that bottom left hand. I really want to see him also take that natural and mineral only. Meanwhile, those stasis units aren't able to do much. He's going to try to push in here, retake that 11 o'clock minute only and 12 o'clock again. But we're going to see how Jaehoon's effectively going to deal with it. Jason's here on the high ground once again. He's going to force Jaehoon to bring back those carriers to deal with this push. He's going to be able to snipe down both those forces, I feel like, before Jaehoon's going to be in position to deal with it. Yeah, his carriers are a little bit out of position, but he has Dark Templar here, and they're going to try to deal with these tanks, but meanwhile, Science Vessel overhead is going to be able to deal with it. But there are not a lot of Goliaths here, and this amount of carrier count is going to be able to deal with this effectively, but he has sniped the two Nexuses, Nexi, from Jaehoon, but again, he's going to lose a big chunk of his army. In the meantime, Dragoon's coming out here to this bottom left-hand expansion. He's going to be able to pressure Mind here, who's only been really getting anti-air, but not anti-ground units. And he's really not being able to doing a lot of good damage here up at the front. You know, he sniped those two Nexus, but in the meantime, he's going to be denied once again. And he's mined out at his natural and main and mineral only, so he's only mining off of that bottom left main and that 12 o'clock position. In the meantime, big vulture, big mine drives on these units from Mind. And Jay's going to be able to easily clean this up. He's going to push some some Dragoons up here to this base, and finally going to take that 1 o'clock mineral only and re-expanding once again to that inside 11 and 12 o'clock expansion. He's going to be able to take out all these turrets here, and in the meantime, these carriers, while these Goliaths are out of position, he's going to be able to hit the natural base. Jaehoon all over the map, you know, trying to abuse the fact that mech is not very, once again, not very mobile, and he's going to pick off all of these turrets, and even might be sniped at command center. There are ghosts! Ghosts with lockdown! Oh my god, comment did not see this earlier. Mind actually go for ghosts with lockdown. This is actually very, very cool from Mind. And he's going to be able to deal with these carriers that are going to be locked down. So cool. No wonder he didn't have a really big army. You know, I was wondering why his macro wasn't up to par, but it's because he's been focusing more on gas-heavy ghosts. We'll see how effective these ghosts are. He's going to play like Haya style, Lita style, where they go really creative and really do stupid builds. And this is one of those dumb things where he goes ghost at lockdown. Meantime, he's once again moved over a small gateway force and going to be able to pick off these Goliaths and tanks. And then once again, you know, Maya's got to deal with this. And the carriers, I'm not sure what the carriers are. They're not really doing anything right now. But meanwhile, they are trying to deal effectively with this army, and is Mind actually going to be able to deal with these forces of Jaehoon? I mean, he is close to mined out right now. He's only got one mining base really at this point, which is this bottom left-hand main. He is trying to reestablish that mineral only at the 5 o'clock, the 7 o'clock position. But meanwhile, the carriers once again picking off more Goliaths, and Goliaths, again, they're not doing much, not killing off a lot of interceptors, because it's not a critical mass of Goliaths either. And the ghosts are still there lurking in the background. Well, to see, yeah, look how many Goliaths he has. You know, he doesn't even have one whole control group of Goliaths here. Meanwhile, those carriers are still in a rabid force. He's got 3 arbiters, might try to stasis those ghosts when they walk up. And we're going to see how good this force is. Here come the arbiters, going to stasis, big stasis on those Goliaths and tanks. And we're going to see lockdown. Where's the lockdown? No lockdown right now. But the arbiter is going to stasis, maybe stasis the ghosts, I'm not sure. He stasis one arbiter, but again, you know, those great stasis fields having well, this ghost tech switch did not work out accordingly. And Mind is gonna have to GG out of here. You know, one of the best Terrans in the game right now. I would say he's top 3 Terran right now. Is gonna lose to Jaehoon, but Jaehoon with brilliant carrier micro, and he's gonna take this. Mind is gonna move on to losers bracket. I think against who played in the first one? I think Larva won against one player. I forget who, but I think he's gonna. I forgot who's going to be playing, but I will check back in when I get the brackets back up and the VODs. So I'll see you guys next time.